Hello everyone, this is Star Sinovia here. This is going to be an announcement regarding my Star Wars content. I know a lot of people, who watch my channel mostly watch it for my political takes at this point, and my Star Wars content has kind of fallen on the wayside. And, well, for those of you who followed me all those years, I appreciate you sticking with me, the entire way. No, I'm not going to quit. That's not what this announcement video is. Um, the reason I'm doing this because ever since I've changed the format of my Star Wars reviews, where I re- basically make them longer, and to clarify something, this is not to drag my reviews out. I realized when I was looking at my views for my videos, my longer videos get more attention than my shorter videos, and I wanted to know why that was. And I found something staggering. That if people are more interested in watching stuff that are over 10 minutes than something that's under 10. Like the last Star Wars review with the original style of reviewing, the Iron Fist review, which I reviewed the sixth X-Wing novel. If there's one thing I really regret is there's so much I could have talked about in that review. There's so much moments I didn't even cover from that novel that it was such a waste. Though I'm not going to do a redo for the any of the X-Wing books because what's done is done. And I realized if I want to continue doing these reviews, I cannot just continue making them in the same format. I mean, I looked at my other reviews that aren't, book reviews that are longer, my streams, and they do relatively well. Why? People like longer videos. That's what I'm getting at. And of course, videos are different from reviews, but it doesn't change the fact that my reviews actually do better when they're longer. And I could use this to reinforce this. When I did my video on the Light of the Jedi novel, fucking Christ, I cannot believe I actually did an actual, basically a review on it. It has 297 views as of this video. Now, that may not be a lot to people, but considering how the size of this channel and how, much, the YouTube algorithm has pretty much fucked over leftist content creators. And I'm no, Marxist Paul or Jason Unruh or various other, leftists. I'm the only people, that actually do entertainment related stuff, despite, me openly supporting Jason and working with, members of MRN. That doesn't mean that I have abandoned my Star Wars content. It's not as big, it's not as much of a priority as it used to be. Now, to get back to my, only review I've done in the newer style so far, the first two books in the Last of the Jedi series, I don't think I'll ever get the views I once did pre-EU Gate, but I think 121 views is actually pretty good for an EU review. Hell, even my Star Trek, reviews actually, the views have gone up since I actually adapted this new format. It's not much. My Star Trek content is never going to get the views that Star Wars content, has. But it doesn't change the fact that my new style of doing reviews is working. Now, I will eventually adapt this to my nonfiction related reviews when I actually look at books. I'm not going to discuss them what they are, and I will get into them in detail, of what stands out for me. Now, the reason why I'm doing this announcement video is because my channel has went through a huge shift since the start of 2020. And I just cannot deny it anymore. It's just impossible. Like, no matter what I do, I'm still going to be hated by the Star Wars fandom. Even if I separate my politics, videos from my Star Wars videos and don't bring up politics in that, I'm basically in a rock and a hard place. So I'm no longer going to be concerned with bringing up politics in my reviews. I'm no longer going to be concerned about that. I'm not going to, probably not likely, but if there's something I would like to bring up that I've observed, I'm going to bring it up. That's the change, another change I'm making, because I feel like me being afraid of talking about politics and my Star Wars related content has pretty much held my reviews back. And podcast, which the Jedi Cantina podcast, they're not really something I do frequently. I do them every once in a while. I have more, leeway with that. I just feel like at this point there's just no reason to, try to keep that stuff separate, because the enemies that I have, they're going to say what they say. They're going to do what they do regardless. I could stop doing political content tomorrow and they would still, think me, hate my guts just for existing. So, in all honesty, I just don't give a fuck. So, going forward with my Star Wars content, I'm going to make it a goal to make my reviews no less than 16 minutes. That's the goal. Eventually, I like to push my content to be 30 minutes. Because, not to sound arrogant or anything, I feel like I can do better EU reviews than many of these jokers out there. And most of these reviews of these EU novels, with some exceptions, Arcade's Ladder I think does great reviews. It's not really reviews. It's just, this story was good. This and this and that. It's like they're not talking about the story. They're not talking about, what they thought of what they've read. It's just, look at Matt Wilkins' reviews as an example. Just look at those. Most of the guy hasn't read any of the most of the stuff he's he reviewed in years. Can you really call those reviews? While me by contrast, every single Star Wars related, book, comic that I have my hands on, I've actually read. And I actually think I could do better. I really honestly believe that. I like to actually challenge myself to actually do better reviews than the reactionaries. It doesn't really take that much effort to be better than the reactionaries. I want to do better at what they do. And that's another reason why I've chosen to change the format. Yeah, my Star Wars content is never going to be on the same level in terms of viewership as my Let's Talk podcast series that I've been doing for months now, or my Jedis Cantina podcast. It's never going to be on that level, but the Star Wars reviews is stuff I actually do for fun. Now, my podcast usually do a lot better, and if I did this in podcast form, it'd probably get more views. But call me old-fashioned, I prefer doing videos pre-recorded, because I think pre-recorded videos are, in my opinion, are actually better, because I don't have to worry about the internet fucking up on me, and I actually can control, what is kept in. If I make a mistake, I can edit that out. These videos, the reason why I basically halted doing Star Wars content is the simple fact is I suffered burnout. And for those of you who don't have experience with content creation, I did a lot of Star Wars reviews. And I mean a lot. There was times I was pumping multiple Star Wars reviews a week. I don't even know how I fucking did it. Back in like late 2018. I don't know how I fucking did it. And had a review every single week throughout almost all of 2019 and like half of 2020. It was a miracle that I managed to do it. But I wouldn't be able to do that indefinitely. And looking back, I actually think my content suffered. I feel like the quality went down when I actually focused on quantity over quality. Because I was so pressured to actually get these reviews out that I feel like I could have done certain videos better. I'm not saying I didn't do certain reviews right. Some of those reviews, I'm content how they are. But if I can do it all over again, I would not have done what I did. I would have actually had done it a lot better. And it's kind of a shame. It's really, considering just how much, I did enjoy reading the material, don't get me wrong. But I suffered burnout. Why did I suffer burnout? Well, there's a little thing called EU Gate that happened. Now, for those of you who followed my channel, knows what I'm talking about. For those who don't know about EU Gate, back in 2019, the infamous YouTuber who was a nobody at the time, he actually appeared out of nowhere, talked to Matt Wilkins, and well, he had some stuff that was concerning, the stuff he was doing and the stuff that he was saying, and his connections with geeks and gamers. And well, for those of you who know, they attacked the 501st. Now, I'm speaking from the perspective as someone who was active in the Star Wars fandom at the time. I was disgusted that the fandom menace, there was no consequences. Like the Star Wars fandom just treated it like it was nothing. And that caused friction with myself and the EU community. And I was forced to make a choice, a painful choice, in 2019. Because I had to choose between what was more important to me. My principles or Star Wars? Consumerism or caring about the future of humanity? I had to choose between the two. I at that point I could no longer try to be neutral and try to have both, because I couldn't. I couldn't. It was a hard decision. It really was. But I did what I had to do. I chose the former. And only time has vindicated how that I was correct on what the Phantom Menace was. I mean, as of this recording, every one of these sick motherfuckers support Rittenhouse. They were gloating and with the verdict. I'm not shocked in the slightest. And I keep being proven right that the Phantom Menace were always a fascist group, and it was the right call for me to break off from the EU community, because they're essentially guilty by association. And I don't apologize for saying that. I don't. And I don't apologize for being political at all in these discussions, because I think I am sick of the hypocrisy. The Star Wars fandom are full of a bunch of hypocrites. One side is allowed to be as political as they want, but the moment the opposition gets political, it's a problem. And you can't have it both ways. And I'm just saying this to right-wing grifters, right-wing Star Wars fans. You can't have it both ways. You can't say the left-leaning Star Wars fans are not allowed to be political and basically try to silence our voices when you could say as many political shit as you want. I don't fucking care anymore. Because I feel like I can do better reviews than you. I've been doing it for years. I have learned from all my mistakes that I've made in reviews. I know what it's like to review something because I've done it. I've experienced doing it. I've been reviewing stuff for over a decade. That I have experience reviewing multiple things: movies, games, books, comics, even action figures. I have experience doing that. It's like I know what it's like to review stuff, and I know the do's and don'ts in a review. So I don't want to be lectured by a bunch of people that have never fucking put in the effort that I put in. And I'm not saying this to brag. I put a lot of work into these reviews that I've done. I can say that I'm proud of what I've been able to accomplish. Since 2015, I've read so much that I'm amazed with myself. I've read more in the past 6 years than I ever did my entire life. And I have Star Wars to thank for that. And to top it all off, I reviewed this stuff too. So doing what I'm doing isn't easy. And I can say with confidence that I could review this stuff better than these right-wing grifters, because they don't want to put even a tenth of the fucking work that I put into these reviews. And I'm not gonna lie. I think a lot of those reviews that I've done, I think are kind of crap, and I think I could do better. Which is another reason why it's taking a longer time for me to get reviews of novels out for Star Wars, because I care about quality, not quantity. And will it get the review, the view count that I would like? No, but you know what? Unlike these grifters, I actually enjoy what I do. I actually enjoy making the content. And you know what? Nothing any of these people are going to say is going to stop me. Yeah, Star Wars may not be the main priority for me at this point, but I do this for fun. You know, they could let them say their shit in their comment section. Let them even come here and downvote this video because I no longer care. I really don't. Honestly, the Star Wars fandom at this point, there's nothing this fandom can do to me that hasn't been done already. Nothing shocks me anymore. I mean, look what they've. I mean, if they're willing to, you know, support a suspected rapist and he's part of the Supreme Court, if they're willing to, you know, defend fucking fascist killing protesters, if they're willing to support the insurrection and, you know, earlier this year, and, you know, defend that fascist vigilante Rittenhouse, nothing shocks me, and nothing you say or do will, you know, will make me afraid of you. Because at the end of the day, you're paper tigers. We defeated your kind in World War II. We defeated your kind in Vietnam, Cuba, China. We're defeating your kind in the Middle East as well, and Latin America. You paper tigers have no chance. You don't. You're nothing more than weak paper tigers who will ultimately destroy the very empire that you're trying to preserve. And you know what? Fuck you. I don't care if you get offended that I'm getting heavily political in a Star Wars video. Tough shit. My channel. I do what I want. No longer give a fuck. May the Force be with you. Death to fascism. And power to the people.